How to create a positive mindset? What? It's your girl Pearl. We're doing a live coaching session today. And if you're new here, about 3 weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram story and I was like, yo, I want to do some live coaching. Who is down to come on my Instagram and do some live coaching? And a few very brave souls. How rude. Someone's trying to call me. I need to go on Do Not Disturb once. Okay. I always forget to go on Do Not Disturb whenever I go live. So we're back. Anyway, we're going to bring Nicole up and we're going to talk about how to create positive live coaching. You know, coaching is one of my favorite things to do. And I love just having people come on and connect and have breakthroughs. And so that's what we're going to do today. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, how are
Good.
you?
How are you doing? Your hair is so cute. I love it.
Thank you, thank you. It looks like I'm not wearing a shirt, but
It
I
looks like you're
totally
naked,
am.
but I
And
like it. It's a
I'm
vibe.
wearing
Let's
a
go.
shirt. I'm wearing a
I'm
shirt, like
not naked,
everybody.
I swear.
Gotta make sure I am wearing a shirt.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on live, Nicole. You are so beautiful and brave, and I'm
Oh,
excited to
thank
dive
you.
in. And
I
not
am
many people,
too.
yeah, I think it's very, also it's a vulnerable thing you're sharing over here, but we're also just going to help support you in your mindset and work through whatever is coming up. And so before we dive in, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and share a little more about you.
Okay, so I'm Nikki or Nicole. You call me either one. I'm a Pinterest and blogging manager. I've been a Pinterest and blogging manager for some time now, like over 3 years now, which is kind of crazy. I just got, not just, I mean, it's been a couple months, but I got yoga certified in March. So I'm like, that's what I love about you and I. We're super into this similar stuff. Very spiritual vibes. So I'm all about like manifestation, meditation, positive mindset, all those things. And so yeah, I mean, I'm like a really busy business owner and also trying to have that work-life balance at the same time. And so trying to also have that good mindset going on and stuff. But yeah, that's me.
Yes, we love a multi-passionate girly. Congrats on your yoga, sir. I love that. It's so
Yes.
awesome. And yeah, business, work-life balance, positive mindset, all the good things. And so
Yes.
I'm curious, what interested you in getting this coaching
Oh
session?
my gosh. So many things. I've been following you for a while and I just saw you post it and I was like, and that during that time of when you had posted on your story, I was like, oh, I'm having such a bad like mindset currently. Like I was, and even so a little bit now I'm getting a little bit better, but at that time I was like really stressing. I was not doing good like with my mindset. I was having a very negative mindset, like probably the most negative mindset I've had like ever. Like I was doing pretty bad. And so I was like, this is the perfect time to like potentially like have this coaching call with Pearl. Like I wonder if it'll work out. Like it'll be great if it does. If it doesn't, then that's what's meant to be. But and so I thought like this would be a really good opportunity because of what you preach and what you do for your own business. Like I've seen so many great like testimonials and like accomplishments with your own clients and stuff, and I'm like, I want that. I would like a little gist of that and like, just get better because I always want to grow and get better, and like I feel like that's always the goal for everyone is to like be happy, and like be calm and have a good mindset. So I was like, this is
Yeah.
the perfect time. Yeah.
Yes, girl. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, and I'm glad you volunteered because it's definitely going to work only if you do the work, right? I
Yes.
always say that. It's going to work if you do the work. So
Yes.
let's chat more about your mindset. Tell me more about what has been happening, if you're open to
Yeah,
sharing, and what has been contributing to your negative mindset and some of the things that
totally.
are happening in your head.
Yeah, so many things. I would say the last couple months I've just been so slow within business. And usually when it comes to my mindset, I'm super attached to like my business. So I know that's something that I need to work on too. They talk about like detaching from like physical things and all that stuff, but that's something that I'm very attached to is my business growth and all the things. And so business is slow, that really, really affects my mindset. So I'm like over here overthinking. I'm like stressing out, having imposter syndrome. I'm like really negative to myself. I'm either like talking badly to myself, like, this was your fault, you didn't do enough, or like, what's going on, maybe I'm not doing enough, or like, why am I not doing enough? You know, I kind of like, you need to stay up late, work, not have that work-life balance, but I'm all about work-life balance. And so I kind of get in my head of like talking badly to myself, but then also reverting and being like, no, be nice to yourself. But then it's like fake niceness, you know? It's like not, it's not even like, it's just like, okay, let me revert this negative thought to a fake positive thought, but do I actually feel that
Yeah.
way? I don't
Yeah.
really feel that
Yeah.
way. Yeah. And so
Mhm.
that's like what I struggle with most is like, I know I need to be positive and I want to be. I want to be. And so like that is what I want. But it's like, how do I get to that point of like switching from that negative to a real positive rather than the fake positive, and actually feel that positive energy and let it flow, and like not have to stress about anything, honestly, not even business, but like something small that happens. Like, how do I let that positive mindset actually make me feel good rather than just like faking it till I make it type of thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if anyone watching can relate, but I can really relate. I remember like 3 years ago before I really got into this work, like I was the same. Something would happen in my business that like I wouldn't get a sale or my launch would fail or my client would like, end their contract or whatever. And I would literally be in bed for days.
Yeah.
Like I would be so depressed
Yeah.
for days. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I suck at this. So I can totally relate
Yeah.
and know that you can shift this.
Yes.
Obviously we're going to talk more about the coaching and stuff. I just want to get a few more information before I can
Yeah,
dive
of
into
course. Yeah.
this. So I would love to know, what have you done that's try to support your mindset? Like what things do you do on a regular basis, or yeah, what has supported you with your mindset so far?
Yeah, so when I went into this slump of like a bad mindset, when I saw your story and everything, I was like, I need to do something. I need to stop like sulking in this, and like, and sometimes that's okay. Like sometimes it's okay to feel the feelings, but like to be in it forever is not obviously good for you. So I was like, I need to do something. I was getting out of my consistent flow of like waking up somewhat early. I don't wake up that early, but somewhat early. Um, and doing my meditation and my yoga. I wasn't doing that for some time because I was so busy. So I was like, maybe if I get back into this, maybe if I get back into my consistent routine of waking up a little bit earlier, doing my meditation, going on the walks that I used to do, doing yoga, that'll help me. And so I've been pretty consistent the last couple weeks or so. That's helped a lot. That's helped really just calm my mind. I started reading Deepak Chopra. Do you read him
Mm.
at all? Okay.
Oh, I love Deepak.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Yes,
amazing.
I do too. And so
Yeah.
I got this book that's like on wealth consciousness and just your mindset. So that helps too. But there's always just this one like point where I'm like, okay, all these are helping, but not for long term, because I'll stop reading that book, or maybe I won't be consistent with yoga or
Yeah.
something that's really busy. So I'm like, ugh. But I even do, what is that called when you're like, I don't know what it's called. It's like when you move and you like hit your body and you like, I don't know what that's, a somatic movement or something
Yeah,
like
it's like a
that.
type of somatic
Yeah,
movement. I know what you mean. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that helps a lot too to let the energy out. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do to be more consistent, because consistency obviously helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. I mean, those
Yeah.
are really great steps to make. And
Yeah.
I think you kind of noticed like, yeah, this is working, but only short term. And so there's
Hmm.
obviously something deeper that needs to be addressed. And I'm all about doing those things, but I'm also about looking at
Yeah.
the deeper shit that's
Yeah.
happening. So let's go a little deeper. Okay, so when you say like you're attached to your business and like your business results affect you, I'm curious, why do you think this is? Like, why do you think you're so attached to your business? What identity are you? Yeah, what do you make it mean about yourself when it comes to business
Uh,
success or not, you know?
I think a lot. It's so funny you bring this up, because I thought about this quite a few times, and I think a lot of it really has to do with the fear of failure, for sure. Feel of
Mm,
failure, and just even like um, what's not that I like, I obviously care what people think, like I care what people think, but like it comes more so down to failing for like my family, or making them think that I'm a failure at the same time. Like not just like, oh, I care if they like my business, not more so like, if I fail, am I letting them down? And so And even if I think deeper back into like childhood, I kind of think about like how growing up as a child, I'm a twin, so we were like compared a lot. Yeah. And so that's something that derives from it too. Like, my sister's successful. Like, am I not successful enough? Like, that is a big thing that I deal with too. So it really derives down to like, honestly, fear of failure and like comparison. I feel like a lot of business owners compare too, because I don't just compare to my sister, but I compare to other Pinterest
Yeah.
managers. I compare to other business owners. And that's what makes me be like, am I enough? And then I get into that like mindset of negativity.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so common. Like a
Yeah.
lot of us can relate. Comparison is so prevalent, especially
Yeah.
social media. And obviously, if you have a twin sister, it happened in your childhood. Thanks for sharing that. I think like
Yeah.
that's something that we all have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely have a shift for you. I'm taking notes in my head, but we're gonna address
I
this
love
later.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. Okay, and so when you were younger, I'm curious. I'd love to hear what kind of feedback would you get when you did quote unquote fail, or like when you were compared to your sister? Like what kind of narratives and things were said to you when you were younger?
Yeah, very negative. I didn't have like, I mean, I had a good childhood, but then also not so great. Like the talk was negative. There's a lot of negative talk, especially comparison to my sister. Like, she was smarter. She was like better at like math or did things better. So then I thought I was stupid because they would say she was smarter. So like, what's the opposite of smart? That's stupid in my head, you know? And
Mm.
so when I was a kid, I'd be like, okay, then am I stupid because she's smarter? And so there was negative talk like that. Even if I failed, there wasn't really like, it's okay, you'll do better next time. It's like, well, you need to do this to be better, you need to do that, like giving like advice rather than like supporting me through the fail.
Yeah.
And it's like, did I
Mm.
ask for the advice? you know I just want support. I just want to be cared for. So that's kind of how it was when we were kids. And it just like wasn't as good as it could have been. Like, the talk could have been so much more positive and more supportive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I can relate for sure. And I think that's a big piece of what's happening currently because a lot of times
Yeah.
we just repeat our narratives from younger, and from our inner child is often
Yeah.
running the show when it comes to
Yes.
our life. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a big piece here, I'm going to talk more about this, is about tending to that inner child that feels
Yeah.
like she's not enough, that feels like she's not smart enough. And so I'm going to do a recap and let me know if I missed anything. But basically, you want to feel better, your mindset needs to improve, but especially gets affected by your business, and you attach yourself to your business because you feel like you're not successful. You want to be maybe seen
Yeah.
as doing well or smart in your parents' eyes. Your inner child has this need,
Yeah.
and you also feel like, wait, it was almost there. It was almost there. No,
The comparison, maybe.
comparison and what was coming up. And then yeah, oh, fear of failure comes up because you don't
Yes.
want to seem like you have failed and been not good enough. Okay.
Yes.
Is that basically the gist of it?
Yes. That's everything.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that. It
Yeah.
gives me a really good idea of what's happening. And so there's a few things that we need to do here to support yourself and your inner child and your narrative around
Mm-hmm.
this shift. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is your inner child, and that really comes down to addressing the feelings that are coming up
Yeah.
and having a conversation. I'm very big on having a conversation with yourself,
Yeah.
and imagining that your inner child is literally right there in front of you. And there's a lot of resources. There's like meditations around this. You can like journal around this. You can just like literally talk to yourself around this. And
Yeah.
so it's like whenever you're feeling a certain way, let's say it's negative, or like, oh, you feel like you're a failure, not good enough. It's like all these things. It's like, because the biggest piece here is your inner child thinks she won't get love if she's not a certain way. And that's,
Yeah.
we all learned this thing, right? We all learned that. Does that resonate with you?
It totally right. I'm like, am I gonna
Yeah.
cry right
No, it's so
now?
honestly, all my clients cry on the call.
Yeah.
And it's very, because we need to go deep to address, because
Yeah.
the surface level shit isn't going to help you
No,
heal. We need to actually go
I
deeper.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. And so it's like, understanding how can you be more compassionate, more loving to yourself on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and especially when you're feeling like, oh, my business is doing well, oh, I'm a failure, when you get into this narrative, it's
Mm-hmm.
like giving yourself the supportive self-talk you didn't have when you were
Yeah.
younger. It's like, actually, you know what, even though maybe we didn't have a good launch or whatever, that's okay, we're gonna figure it out, and I still
Mm-hmm.
love you anyway, and you're gonna do
Yeah.
amazing, and I'm proud of you for doing all the things. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
understanding that this is your little child that just wants to be loved and supported and cared for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our job to do that. Now that we're adults, it's our job to
Yeah.
do that, right? So I always think about like the narrative that's in my head often isn't mine. And I just dropped
Ah,
a powerful like drop in the challenge. And if you want to join after you can, there's a 20-minute
yeah.
voice note about this. And it's so powerful. It's like a lot of the thoughts that we have that are told to us aren't ours. We're just repeating old patterns.
Yeah.
So a big thing I want to encourage you to do, and this I do this every day, it's really changed my life, is whenever a thought comes up like, oh, you're not good enough, oh, you're failing, oh, you're stupid, blah, 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 I
Mm-hmm.
actually take a pause and I'm like, that's not mine. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not my thought. I don't
Yeah.
want it. Get that
Yeah.
shit away from me. Like literally, I'm like,
Yeah.
you can stay over there. And
Yeah.
then I ask myself, I'm like, how do I want to think
Yeah.
instead? And I tell myself, no, you can do it. You're so capable. You can figure it out. You're gonna make it work. And I tell myself, so this is a way of reframing. And I do this as much as I can, obviously. We're
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect,
Yeah.
but on a daily basis, I'm very aware, like that's not my thought. I want to think this instead.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start to reframe, you know what I mean? You start to like kind of reshift the things and like saying different words to yourself. How's that sound?
No, I love that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because that resonates so well. I definitely want to do that, and I will start doing that for sure. And I
Yeah.
think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And those of you watching to implement it, it's really changed my life. And it's just like disowning the parts of you that no longer serve you,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, cool. That's been there for a while. Maybe we got to clean that up. And it's
Yeah.
taking responsibility for the things that are being created within you, knowing that. And I always want to come from a place of compassion and love. It's never wrong
Yeah.
because that part of you when you're younger that had to be a certain way to get love, that's all she
Mhm.
knew. That's what she had to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. But now it doesn't serve you anymore because you're older, you're an adult, and we have shit to do. Okay,
We have shit to
we got
do.
shit to do. We want to build a business. We have goals. We
Yes.
want to have fun. We want to have work-life balance. So
Yes.
like we need to be able to, and this is going to come with actually a grieving process. Because whenever we lose parts of ourselves, it's
Mm-hmm.
scary for our mind. It's very scary actually. We think we're
Yeah.
quote unquote dying because we're losing parts of ourselves that have been with us for life. So this is going to be a piece of self-love, self-compassion, and the emotions that are going to come up. You're going to feel sad, you're going to feel mad, anger. And
Yeah.
I'm curious right now, do you have any ways of processing emotions in the way that supports you?
Um, that's so great that you asked. I don't really. I'm the type of person that doesn't like to cry. I don't, and like, I will keep it in, and keeping it in is obviously not good. I try to do my best to not keep it in. There's a point where, like, if I'm frustrated, I'll just start crying because I'm frustrated, or if I'm angry, I'm crying. So you only know if I'm angry, you'll just be like, "Why is she crying?" And she's actually pissed off. She's not sad. She's pissed.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's just like I really don't like. I always say like I don't like having feelings. Like I don't like crying because it's not fun. Who likes? I mean, maybe some people like to cry. I've heard people are like I like to because I like to let it go and it just shows that we have feelings. I want to get to that point. I want to like crying, but I really don't. I would say I try to avoid it as much as possible, and that's where the like faking it, faking it till I make it. I'm just being
No, I
honest.
love your honesty, honestly, because you remind me of me. Like you were me. You like it's beautiful. Keep going.
um, but yeah, that's where I get to the point of like faking it till I make it. I'll be like, oh wait, actually you're not sad. You're happy. Like be happy. And it's like, no, I'm actually really freaking sad right now. And so I don't
Yeah.
entirely have like a great like release. I would say meditation's probably a good form of it, but it's not enough to like if I'm like super sad. Like meditation is not gonna make me not sad
Yeah.
anymore. Sometimes it does,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
um so yeah, I would say no. Short answer, no.
Good. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So thanks for sharing that. A lot of people don't. And again, we weren't equipped with the tools to learn how to navigate and express emotion.
Yeah.
And I used to think the exact, like literally what you said, it was me to a T. I would avoid crying. I hated crying. I hated showing emotion. I hated being seen as like, because my narrative from when I was younger, like that was weak and like you need
Yes.
to be strong and like
Yep.
that's intact. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the thing here is, you're gonna love the challenge because I have also a really good drop on this
Okay.
because a lot of us, we try to bypass our feelings. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not sad, I'm happy. No,
Mhm.
I'm not. Oh, I'm.
Yeah.
But we cannot actually achieve true, genuine happiness if we keep bypassing our feelings, because all
Yeah.
feelings are good. I don't like using it. All feelings are supportive for us.
Yes.
Now, if you reject some feelings, you're going to reject other
That's
feelings as well.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't until that I started tapping into my sadness, my grief, my shame, all the things, was actually until I felt happy, joyful, grateful. Like I
Yeah.
didn't get the full spectrum. I was kind of stuck in this like mediocre vibe. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel sad. I'm not gonna be really happy either. I was like in this mediocre
Yeah.
vibe.
Yes.
And I wanted to be really happy, but I couldn't because you have to understand the spectrum.
Mhm.
So we have to actually feel sad and feel the emotions. Because when you increase your capacity to feel
Yeah.
sadness, you
Mhm.
increase your capacity to feel happiness. And
Wow.
so
That's
that is something
strong.
that
That is strong.
it's so true. And so
Yeah.
once you learn that feelings are actually your guide, like feelings, I cannot wait for you to listen to this because this mindset shift changed my life. When you learn how to tap into your feelings, it
Mhm.
actually helps guide you to the shifts you need to make to elevate yourself even higher. So you must meet yourself where you're at. So you're going to need to let yourself cry. You're going to need to let yourself express. You're going to need to let yourself feel the feels,
Mhm.
but you don't stay there for too long. That's the thing. You don't let yourself stay there for too long. And there's a process that I share in the audio in the challenge, and you let yourself express and do the thing, but you also then you shift your state, you create a way to elevate out of it,
Mhm.
and you learn. And there's always lessons. I feel like feelings are really powerful when you
For
learn to listen
sure.
to them. There's lessons there for you, and look at the lessons like, oh yeah, it might be that, there's more to heal here. It might be that, you know what, you need to have a conversation with your parents. I'm just saying random things,
Yeah.
but what are the next steps for you
Yeah.
to actually feel genuinely happy, like in your soul,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we all want. And so you're going to need to feel the feels. And there's lots of ways you can do this. There's lots of ways you can process it. Find a way that works for you.
Mhm.
But suppressing only suppresses your happiness as well. And we don't want that. How's that
Mhm.
land?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You're selling me, girl. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the challenge for sure because holy crap. Yeah, no, that definitely hits deep for sure. So I know I need to do that and I will start doing that.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, and so I'm going to give you a little metaphor that really supports me. And then there's one more thing I want to share, and then we're going to wrap
Okay.
up. But basically, when it comes to feelings, I think of a balloon, okay? There's a balloon, right? And as we go throughout our day, like we are emotional beings, and it's a beautiful thing. So as we go throughout our day, our emotions, we feel things, happiness, joy, sad, shame, whatever. We
Mhm.
feel all the things. And that's like your balloon blowing up, right?
Mhm.
Getting bigger, which is beautiful. Now, when we don't actually regulate ourselves and express and release our emotions on a regular basis, eventually the balloon will pop. And this
Yeah.
turns into an outbreak. You're crying randomly for no reason. You're, being bitchy to that person for like you're just like outbursting because you
Yeah.
popped, and now you're like overflowing with emotion that you don't know how to
Mhm.
regulate or like manage,
Yeah.
right? This used to be me. But instead, what I encourage all my clients to do is regulate your emotions on a daily basis. Like I view it as brushing your teeth because your balloon fills up and you release it. You fills up, next day you release it. So there's
Okay.
little things we can do every
Yeah.
day to release our emotion because the metaphor that comes up or like the visual that comes up is like imagine you're walking and you have like a sticky suit on.
Mhm.
As you navigate your day, things stick to you, yeah, like
Yeah.
things like energy and like people's emotions, like your emotions, and like at the end of your day you're like this sticky blob of things. But if
Yeah.
you don't like take off these things and like basically cleanse yourself
Mhm.
energetically, you're just gonna keep building up, building up, building up, building up until you're like, fuck, I hate all these things on me. Get the fuck off. Like, why am I wearing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like all emotional. But
Yeah.
when you take the time, and it doesn't have to be long, I do it for like 5 minutes a day, and I do it through dance. So that's my way of moving my
Yeah.
emotions. And every time I do this every day, I take off some of these blobs and I take off, and that's like my process to help keep me emotionally regulated, to feel my emotions and also to feel happy at the same time. And so it's a daily practice, it's a daily habit that we do,
Yeah.
and that's
I
going to help
that.
support your nervous system.
I
How's that sound?
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I love the metaphor you just said about like brushing your teeth. It's just like brushing your teeth. You have who if people don't brush their teeth daily, then but so I'm gonna make that like a thing. Like that's gross. If I'm not releasing emotions, that's nasty.
No, it really is. And once you hear the audio, you're gonna understand like how actually it impacts our health. Like it impacts our health to an extent, not
Yeah.
processing our emotions properly. And it's really important to optimize all parts of you because as a holistic coach, it's not just your eating and your nutrition and your
Mm-hmm.
going to the gym, it's your emotional well-being, it's your mental well-being, it's your spiritual well-being that
Yeah.
matters to become a holistically thriving person, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, beautiful. So the first thing we're going to do is shift our thoughts,
Yeah.
get rid of the ones we don't want, obviously with compassion, understanding where they're coming from and shifting that. Second thing we're going to do is process our emotions on a daily basis. And you can test out different tools that work for you.
Yeah.
I've done everything. I've done EFT tapping, I've used dancing, I
Mm-hmm.
used journaling, I used so like use all the tools you have, and
Yeah.
there's obviously so many more. And the last piece I want to talk about is actually around learning how to detach from your business, right?
Yes.
Because this is going to be a really big piece. Like as business owners, like of course we love our business. It's like amazing. But being able to detach and be like, you are your own entity. Okay.
Yep.
You are your human. Your business is just something you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but you also get to do a lot of other things, right? And so, what really helped me detach my business was realizing, like, really taking back my power. And this actually applied to so many other areas of my life. And this might also serve you. It's like, I don't let XYZ thing affect how I show up and how I feel and how I speak to myself.
Yeah.
There's a certain standard of what I want in my life and how I want to feel. And I want to do that regardless of my external circumstances because I am in control of my feelings, right? So
Yes.
this shift was okay, well, I'm not going to let the fact that no one bought or no one replied to my story let me talk bad about myself and like sulk and not go to the
Yeah.
gym. Like, I don't want these things to affect how I show up and like how I take care of myself
Mm-hmm.
because I am my number one
Yeah.
priority. Because without my business, I would still be here. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, you would still be here without it. You would still be here without any of the things that you own. Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
we are self sufficient human beings. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we can, of course, be successful in business and do all the things we want to do, but not let it treat ourselves in a way that isn't supportive for who we want to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that hits hard. Yeah, that makes total sense. I'm gonna think that way and do that because I don't want to be attached to this. And I agree, like we're our own people and like without anything that I have, like physical things or even like my business and stuff, I'm still me. Still an amazing person.
Exactly. You're still this
So,
amazing human being. And again, I
yeah.
think for you, it's going to come back down to really learning how to heal the parts of you that need to feel supported
Yes.
and like successful and like smart. Like that part, that inner child is going to need a lot of love over the next. And this takes time, of course. It's a
Yeah.
process. But every day being like, you're going to get love even if you don't do this. You're going to get love like you and really getting to understand and learn yourself and like, who am I without my business? What do
Yeah.
I like to do? How can I fill up my cup? What other things can I explore? Like, get back to your inner child. What does she want to do? Right?
Yeah.
Something I journal on often is like, what does my inner child want and desire to do? And do more of those things, okay? Because your inner child is really a big part of us that comes out in many different ways that we don't realize. And
Mhm.
so once you realize, like, okay, well, I get to treat myself a certain way regardless. So whether my business is good or not, I don't care. I'm still doing my things.
Yeah.
Whether or not I used to really be attached with to men. I'd be like, whether or not this guy texts me
Yeah.
back, I'm still gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
And you get to do your thing regardless of all these things outside of you, right? And so
Yeah.
really starting to see yourself in that light will really support you.
Yeah. I love you. Thank you so much. That was so great.
You are
Thank
so welcome, love. I'm so happy to have you. Honestly, thank you for being able to come up and being open and vulnerable and sharing and allowing me to support you. I really hope that served you. And
Yeah.
so I want you to go implement those things over the next X amount of days. And when you start to see shifts, I want to hear them. I want you to come into
Yes.
my DMs and I want you to share about the shifts
Yeah.
you're having. I will send you the link to join the
Yes.
challenge. And yeah, anything else you want to share? How was that for you?
No, that was amazing. Exactly what I needed. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Pearl. I'm so excited. I definitely want you to send that stuff over to me.
I
So,
will. You're gonna love it. Can't wait for you to dive in. Anyone watching, if you also want the audios and the challenge, DM me after this because they're literal gold. And you
yes.
found value from this. I hope you go implement it and let me know if it changed your life. Thank you so much, beautiful Nicole, and I will talk to you very soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.